All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. We are back for another week of Just a Fan podcast. And hey, listen, I know I've done this before, but I'm gonna do it again. Do not adjust your computer or however you're watching us, okay? This is not a mirage. It's the real deal, okay? This is the real deal. What you see is not phony, it's not fake, it's not artificial, okay? It's the real deal. The four horsemen are back. Football-wise, baby. We can run a 3-4 defense. We can run a 4-3 defense. We can go cover 4, whatever we got to do. We can go out 4 wide receivers. We do what we got to do. All right? So, what's up, Twan?
All right.
All right, so let's go ahead and introduce all the guys. Y'all know who I am first. Coach Williams, the NFL Encyclopedia. I'm letting y'all know now the NFL schedule will be out soon, okay? Next to me on the screen, Space Age. What's up, man?
What's happening? I'm here, y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in. Let's get it.
Let's get it. Down below, Trish TV. He's a generational talent, the quarterback that runs this whole show. What's up?
Yo, what's going on, everybody? Good to have all 4 of us on here. That's what's up.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Down below at an angle, panel 316, the good guy with the black hat. What's up, man?
Howdy.
There you go. That's that Texas, baby. Run and shoot offense. That Swisher House remix. All right. What's up, Eric? James?
James, what's up, baby?
All right, so what we got going on tonight, man, gentlemen, we covered some things last week regarding the draft, but we're going to cover some more stuff regarding the draft. Excuse me, one quick second. Where is what am I looking for? I know what I'm looking for. Oh, no, here we go. Present the share screen. Boom. We're going to cover these players who got drafted in the first round only.
We have to, man, because last week tensions were high, man. Tensions were high.
Oh my goodness, tensions
in the draft. We know it. Hey, so this
is because I wasn't on.
Go ahead, T.
It's because I wasn't on.
No, I mean
acting up when I wasn't on.
No, draft tensions were high. Like,
well, yeah.
This is a patient. Like, whoa, what's going on here?
All right, so. Let's talk about some of these. Let's talk about these guys 1 through 32. You got Cam Ward drafted out of Miami, drafted number 1 overall by Tennessee. Gentlemen, what do y'all think about this?
I mean, it was the easy no-brainer type of pick. I mean, it was like you don't have a quarterback, you need a quarterback. You have so many holes in Tennessee that's not even funny. And Cam Ward, arguably, and I do mean arguably, was the best quarterback prospect in this particular draft. So, I mean, it was kind of a no-brainer. It was kind of like low-hanging fruit. There's nothing really spectacular about that. Let's just see how they're going to coach him up.
Yeah.
Well, like you said, they haven't had a quarterback. Well, they didn't do Vince Young correct, but they haven't had a quarterback since Steve McNair.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Like I said, Vince Young, that was completely mishandled. But I mean, they've been through what? Blaine Gabbert, no, not Blaine Gabbert, J.P. Lossman, most recently, not Malik Willis, but
Will Levis.
Huh?
They had Will Levis.
Marcus Mariota a couple years ago.
Marcus Mariota.
They didn't do Marcus Mariota correct, just like Vince Young. They
No,
messed up
when
with two quarterbacks.
I knew Marcus Mariota was going to struggle once because Mike Vrabel was named the head coach shortly after,
That's
and
not
I
his
knew that
range.
was going to be. It's not his kind of quarterback,
Yeah.
so I knew that was going to be a problem. With Cam Ward, what Tennessee fans have to understand is that they need to be patient because what's happening is a lot of them keep trying to put this whole Steve McNair comparison. The guy is not Steve McNair. I'm not saying he's not talented, but he was not Steve McNair.
No.
And also, Steve McNair was also paired with Eddie George. He had weapons
Oh
around
man,
him
he
to
had a
help him.
squad.
So also like you gotta give this time because there's so like Brandon said, there's so many or Brandon Eric, I'm sorry, I forgot who said it, but there's so many things that still gotta get fixed on that team. So you gotta give him a chance to develop. I'm saying that like I'm confident that he can, but you gotta give him a chance. And
Yeah.
that Tennessee organization has not done that with quarterbacks since Steve McNair. They just haven't. Like y'all said, Vince Young.
And
Vince Young should have had a long career.
Yes,
Marcus Mariota should have had a better career.
yes.
But they did not make the investment with these guys because everybody wanted them to be like Steve McNair walking in
yep,
and was
yep.
already a Pro Bowl talent.
Just instant, yeah, the instant gratification, basically, from the
Exactly.
fan base. And so if they didn't get that instant gratification, they will automatically, like, oh, well, this guy's a bust. Now, granted, they did draft some busts, but there was a lot of
Yeah,
guys
kid out
that
of
they've given.
Washington. I can't remember his name.
Yeah, there are some guys that were busts, but there also were some guys that they'd have been given, the proper support and coaching. They could have probably turned out to be something worthwhile.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Yep.
All right. Number 2. Do y'all want to go over Travis Hunter or we go from last week?
No, we kind of drugged Jacksonville already behind that. They did all of that. They gave up a king's ransom to get Travis Hunter, only to lose the division to the Houston Texans again.
But the thing is with him and Cam, man, it's like, I mean, they're the safest picks, the best picks. I mean, the top 2 players, you can't pass them up. So I get the pick. We'll see what happens.
No.
Well,
There's nothing
it's not
wrong
the
with the
biggest-
pick, Steve.
It's
It's the
what you
fact that
gave
they gave
up.
up
What
a
they
king's
did.
ransom to
Yeah,
move
It's what
up.
they did for it.
But listen,
Right.
they got to fill seats, man. They know. We know
Hey,
Jacksonville going nowhere this year.
Steve,
We know they ain't going.
Steve. You know full well that if you want to fill up seats, you win championships, man. You build an actual team.
Or you get
What?
the biggest name if you're
Okay. Guess what, Steve? Guess what? If you want to sit there and just go get the biggest name and do nothing all for the rest of your life, then go ahead. I'm trying to build a team so I can win a championship.
And I'm with
but
Brandon on that.
No,
Yeah,
I'm kind of with Steve because not all franchises are made equal. Some
Still,
franchises
some-
get
And
players
some are less
for them to
equal
go
than
for
others, and that's the
championships.
Jacksonville Jaguars.
And
Right,
and that's true.
but
That's true. But then hold on. What's the one thing I always say? You got to learn how to scout, draft, and develop these players.
Brandon, I hear what you're saying.
We
but
got
what Steve
hold
is-
on. I'm sorry. We got to stop giving these teams excuses.
It's not
We
about
got to stop
excuse.
giving these teams excuses,
It's
man.
not an
It's not
excuse.
excuses.
It
I'm
is
not
an
hearing what
excuse.
Steve. No,
Go ahead.
listen.
Okay,
You're
go
not
ahead.
hearing what Steve is saying. Steve is saying there are some teams that will draft players because they're trying to build a championship roster. There are some teams that have been so impoverished in their franchise that they got to give the fans something to cheer
Yes.
about.
I
That's what
understand
they're
that.
talking about. No, stop. Wait, listen. It's happened numerous times. This is not the first time. When the Atlanta Falcons drafted Deion Sanders, they were not one player away from a Super Bowl. But guess
Yes.
what Deion did for the fan base and for the organization? It bought them time to try to build it because everyone wanted to go see Deion. It didn't matter if they were going to win or lose. They were going to buy the ticket because they know Deion was going to do something impressive. When the Saints did the trade to go get Ricky Williams, it was the same tidbit. They did the move because everyone wants to go see Ricky Williams run the football. It's happened numerous times.
Why not?
That's why I said not all teams are created equal.
Yeah.
Some will
And-
do that. Jacksonville is not a player away from a championship.
Exactly.
But I bet you they're going to have a bunch of season ticket holders and a bunch of sold out home
They
games
wanna see-
because people want to see what Travis Hunter is going to do.
Exactly. It's an
Okay.
entertainment. This
That's
is
fine.
an entertainment
That's fine.
business. And Brandon, I mean, we're all agreeing. It's entertainment business, man. Let's just say
I know. Hey, listen. I know it's
Jacksonville
entertainment.
drafted-
Brandon, let me get this one.
Go ahead. E. Go ahead.
I got a question. I'm gonna pose a question to y'all. Y'all talked about you compared that to the Ricky Williams trade that happened 10 years ago with the Saints. How did that work for the Saints?
I didn't say that I agree with the trade. I didn't say I agree with it.
Okay,
I'm just telling you why.
and that's
they
the
did
point
it.
that we're making, though.
But he was a big name, big ticket player.
He was a big name. He ran
That
for some
sold tickets
yards.
for them.
Yes, he sold some tickets. But
Because-
after the subterfuge was over in New Orleans, look, New Orleans people ain't stupid. They was like, hey, wait a minute. Ricky running the ball and everything, but wait, we still not winning.
But
This some BS.
No, E, but we're talking
And
about.
I'm telling you, and
No,
I'm not saying I don't know much about Jacksonville, but I do know that they think that they're better than what they are.
Well,
Okay.
let me say this.
And here's the thing: they think that they're better than what they are. The Jacksonville fan base believes all their woes are over now because they
No.
gave up a king's ransom for
No, they don't.
Travis Hunter.
No, they don't.
Okay, hold on, let me finish. All right, and you cannot convince me that their ownership, GM and coach, don't believe that they're close or even remotely close to the Houston Texans.
Yep.
They did all of that and are still going to lose that division.
We're saying the same thing. Listen, man, we're saying the same thing. It's like Jacksonville, and we can move on soon. Let's say Jacksonville, if they drafted Armand Memba from Missouri over Travis Hunter, it's probably a bigger need, but people are not buying his jersey.
They're not buying tickets for that.
They're buying the Heisman Trophy
I'm
winner's
not-
jersey because it's exciting football to watch, even though they're not going to win much. And he's the tackle that's going to protect their franchise quarterback. It's
Well,
about selling tickets, bro. For some,
I tell you what. I tell you what. Let me be the GM or head coach down in Jacksonville. I'm gonna change all that nonsense going on down there.
I agree. We're taking you out of it. Some teams know they're not going to be nothing, but they got to get the big name and excitement to fill those seats. That's how these owners make money.
Look,
If they're-
the
they're about making money.
The Cleveland Browns drafted Johnny Manziel, and everybody knew Johnny Manziel had no business being picked in the first round. None.
Yep.
But they knew it was going to sell tickets.
Exactly.
But here's the thing: if money is the cash rules everything around me, Cream get the money. If that's all that they about, okay, go ahead. But just you're gonna be rich and on the couch come playoff time.
And most teams and owners are fine with that.
Think like
And
that.
okay,
Think like that.
But what I'm saying now, I'm speaking to your fan base. I ain't talking about the owners.
Yeah.
I ain't talking about the GM. I ain't talking about them. What's gonna happen is the you have the fan base is like, oh yeah, we in this thing now. We got Travis Hunter, which is BS, because there's so many other glaring holes on that team, and then they're gonna lose. They're gonna be calling for Liam Cohen. They're gonna be calling for his head, and we starting all over again.
I'm not lying.
Wash,
Man.
rinse, repeat. When you do the same thing and expect different results,
Right. Insanity.
it's insanity.
But
And that's
why
why I was on Jacksonville ass last week. I'm gonna stay on their ass this week, and I'm gonna stay on their ass all season until they show me something different.
And I feel you. That's the thing, man. Listen,
We're not
I'm
disagreeing.
looking forward to seeing Travis Hunter play, man. I want to watch all his snaps, man. I want to see him play.
I want to see him play too, but
I'm gonna be victim
also, if I'm a Jacksonville Jaguars fan, I want to get to the dang on Super Bowl and try to win something.
They're not.
I'm winning the
But
NFC. Let's try that.
They're not even coming out of the
They're not.
division.
They're
No,
not.
I know
They
this
know
year.
that.
I know they're not coming out the division this year. What I'm saying is,
And
let's
they know
build
that.
a team.
They know they're not.
That's all I'm saying.
They
All
know
right.
they're not.
All right,
Let's go. Let's keep going.
All right, so anybody, folks that's watching at home, please make sure it helps the algorithm. Comments, questions, anything about that. But basically, we paused for a minute on the second pick of the draft because the Jacksonville Jaguars traded up 2 spots. They gave up a king's ransom to move up 2 spots to go get Travis Hunter. And to be clear, I want to qualify this, and I want to make sure that I'm clear on this because somebody take what I'm saying and run with it. We are not talking about Travis Hunter like he's a bad player. So we want to be clear on that because you got some
That's
people
true.
that are sitting at home eating, picking boogers and eating them, thinking that we saying Travis Hunter is trash. Okay, that is not. Hey, what up, Keenan? That is not what we're saying. We're not saying Travis Hunter's a bad player. We're not saying he's a mediocre player. We're saying that what's going on, the way they acquired Travis Hunter, what they did to move up to get Travis Hunter is what's in question right here.
And
so I want to be clear on that.
And we'll dig into him a little bit more and
down the road.
Yeah, in training camp. We'll get to that.
We'll definitely cover it.
That's a big topic that we have to have a show dedicated more towards like camp stuff later on. But let's carry on.
All right, number 3 overall, coming out of Penn State pass rusher, Abdul Carter to the New York Giants. Now, hey, I like this because what you do is, and one thing Eric always says, you can never have enough pass rushers, okay? So you have him paired up with not just Brian Burns, who they got from Carolina last offseason, but they tried to Kayvon Thibodeau a few years ago in the first round. So now you got 3 edge rushers to rotate in and out or get exotic with it. And you still got Dexter Lawrence up the middle at nose tackle. And people forget, Dexter Lawrence had like double-digit sacks last year and then got injured. He didn't finish the season.
He's a monster.
Yep. Dexter Lawrence probably could have had about 14, 15 sacks last year. And that's a rarity.
He's a
Let me say this again. Hold on, wait. Let me say this again. That's a rarity for a nose tackle. Okay? If a healthy Dexter Lawrence with all those guys, he can probably get
15,
16 sacks this coming season.
This NFC East is getting disrespectful, man.
It is. I mean, if the Giants offense can do anything, that team automatically becomes dangerous because of what they've done with the
and you know what? They're like the photo negative of the Cincinnati Bengals. They could be, but Cincinnati has this amazing offense and you're just saying if the defense could just be adequate.
Yep.
So the Giants in this particular conversation, if their defense is what we think is going to be, all their offense has to do is be adequate.
That's it.
Adequate.
That's it.
Yeah.
Convert a few third downs. You know, score just this way. Can you score 20 points? Because I think we can hold you down if you can score 21, 24 points.
That. Definitely.
Yeah.
And the thing that scares me with them, my bad, Steve. I was saying the thing that scares me with them in regards to that is the fact that they drafted Jackson Dart. I actually liked what they did the rest of the draft, except Jackson Dart, and not because of the obvious that he was drafted over Shedeur, but the fact that Jackson Dart is so raw. And I'm like, I feel like Daboll is saying, oh, I can get me a Josh Allen part 2. But I didn't see Jackson Dart as Josh Allen part 2. Jackson Dart has a lot of great physical tools, but his tape wasn't something to behold. He had a lot of flame out games that he was not good.
And also
had a couple that were a highlight.
Let me add to that, Tristan. Also, his receivers were highly underrated.
Yeah.
He had, I scouted receivers this offseason, and it's like, hey, man, these receivers are pretty doggone good. These guys climbed the ladder for a lot of passes, or went down in the dirt and got a lot of passes, or stretched out.
And there was a commentator that said it. I think it was the game against Florida. They said had Jackson Dart had a better game, he probably would have been all world because of his receivers. But he had such a horrible game, and that's what I don't think that I think Daboll is overestimating how valuable or how good Josh Allen was. Yes, you did a lot of tweaking in his game, but I think you underestimate how good Josh Allen actually was compared to Jackson Dart.
Yeah, I just don't see how anybody can make that comparison and be, and not be on some type of brain altering substance.
Yeah, and then the last thing, of course, let's talk about the numbers that he won. He wanted Lawrence Taylor and Phil Simms' number.
Carter, yeah, he did.
You were good in college, but it's the big leagues now.
Which I don't understand. Listen. When it comes to Abdul Carter, yes, sir. You were definitely good. You were great at Penn State. Penn State is known to produce running backs and pass rushers. Yep. That's the Penn State way.
Yep. Yep.
Linebackers, and running backs. It's the Penn State way.
Yep.
I get it, but you were not Michael Parsons. Let's make that very, very clear. You
Right.
might have wore number
Or
11.
LeVar Arrington. I mean,
Or LeVar Arrington. You might have wore number 11, and you were productive, but you weren't them guys.
but
So-
even if you were, you can't pop in the league and get one of the best if not the best defenders of all time number,
Bro, you
This
talking about a
generation,
dude?
man.
Yeah, they need to really understand their history. You're talking about a guy that was
A lot of these football players don't
first team,
understand the history.
Yeah,
first team All Pro for a decade, won
Bro,
Super Bowl MVP, regular season MVP, was the defensive MVP and rookie in the same year. Like
MVP three times, DPOY 3 years. Like
that's literally like the Cowboys drafted Blue out of Texas, right?
right.
That's literally like him going in there and saying, "Hey, I want to wear 22."
Exactly.
Or receiver. They drafted one of Jackson Dart's receivers in San Francisco. He comes in, I want to wear 80. You done lost your damn mind.
That's like
and people said that. People
That's
said
like-
that. They were like, it's like being a wide receiver drafted in San Francisco saying you want to wear 80.
That's like
Or Washington had drafted a corner saying, I want to wear 28.
no,
Exactly.
That's like
Right, you don't do that.
that's like a center going or any play going to Orlando, going to Miami or LA and want 32. Shaq has his number retired in 3 franchises.
LA's 34.
34. But
Yeah. You just don't touch
3 different
them.
franchises. You're
You
not
don't
getting
touch
the number. You're
Yeah,
not
you're not touching those numbers. You're not.
getting it.
All right. Number 4, Will Campbell, LSU offensive tackle, New England. I get it. You know, they try to protect Drake May.
It's one of the best picks in the draft, to be honest.
Yes,
with you.
very good investment. Very good
You
investment.
talking about blue chip, day one starter, possible Pro Bowler. I mean,
Yeah.
I love that kid.
That's a good pick. And he's ready. He said he'll die for him, man. He ready to play.
Yeah, you ready to go?
Wow, that's devotion. Wow,
Yeah, he said it.
I won't block for you, dog. I will make sure you don't get sacked. But
No, he said that. He his emotions are high, man. You in the draft room, you're gonna say whatever you're gonna say to pump the fans up, man. He said it.
All right. Billy Bob from Varsity Blues. Okay. All right. Even though Billy Bob was a guard.
Let's carry on.
Let's move on.
Number 5, Mason Graham, defensive tackle, Michigan.
Yeah, that's another no-brainer.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, once you saw Abdul Carter was gone, but you give Myles Garrett someone that could be right next to him.
Yep.
And he can rotate all over the line. I don't know what he was getting a little sandbagged a little bit in the media. I think people didn't pay attention to him watching him at Michigan, but to pair him with Myles Garrett, he's gonna be a problem.
Yeah, he is.
That's going to open up a lot of more opportunities for Myles Garrett because Mason Graham is going to demand some double teams in some situations.
Yep.
Which is going to put Myles Garrett one-on-one with somebody that can't block him.
Yeah, he's an underrated rush in the interior. I mean, it's going to be a show.
Yeah. So yeah, that's another no-brainer. Best defensive tackle paper in the draft.
If they're all anything,
you breaking up, Tristan?
I'm sorry, it's service. That's another team where I said their offense can do.
Yeah, you broke out. All right.
Be best. And then you just got this kid to go with a happy Myles Garrett, a paid Myles Garrett.
Yeah, man. That's a good pair right there. That's good teaming right there. Good teaming.
All right. Number 6, running back Ashton Jensen, Boise State to the Raiders. Now that's gonna be interesting. I like the pick because I want to see what it looked like in that offense, but my concern is the quarterback. That's my concern.
Not me, because you got Genty.
What Tristan is saying, Genty's gonna take some pressure off of Geno.
Yeah. That's what Geno thrives off of. He thrives. You give him a strong running game, he'll be solid.
Yeah, you're right, because it's going to have to be Genty and Brock Bowers to take pressure off of him, man. It's going, yeah.
I feel like with Genty and where he went to school, people want to say, "Oh, he didn't play against anybody." I believe in like his line, his O line being at the same level as the D lines that they played against in the NFL. It'd be the same situation. I think if he has the O line, he'll excel again, man. I think he'll be great there. It's a big name, good pick. I ain't mad at it. I ain't mad.
I'm not mad at the pick. I'm just concerned about the quarterback.
The departure of Josh Jacobs left a gaping hole with the Las Vegas Raiders, and they realized that after this season. You know, they say you don't know what you got till it's gone.
Yep.
And basically, they knew that they had to replace that production. And in order to do that, you had to go and get one of the best running backs in the draft. It makes sense. Brandon, I'm with you on the quarterback thing. As a matter of fact, if we have time at the end of this, I want to address that whole quarterback situation with the Raiders, because the Raiders keep raidering. But we're gonna table that until we get to the end of this countdown.
I may have a rebuttal on that with you, Eric, depending on how you break it down. I may have a rebuttal on that. But also but also we have to keep in mind who the head coach is. Everyone
Pete Carroll is gone. No. Just listen what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I'm not refuting anybody. I'm saying remember his bread and butter when it comes to the offensive side of the ball, even though he's defensive minded coach.
Mm-hmm.
His bread and butter is the strong run game everywhere he's gone. So that's why I said this was a home run hit for me.
Oh no, we're not repudiating the pick right here. We're talking about another situation, and we'll cover that. We're gonna table it.
My only problem. Geno Smith may have success during the regular season. My problem is playoffs. When I think quarterback, I also got to think playoffs too, and that's gonna be my problem with Geno Smith.
Y'all knew the Raiders ain't finna make no damn playoffs.
I think that's the thing. I think Brandon's mind.
Brandon has high expectations, man.
And it's not an expectation of team. His expectation is what he expects teams to do, because every year everybody should be vying for a championship. But some teams are just not there. So they gotta build it the way they gotta build it.
No,
I'm not talking about a long playoff run.
I understand building. But if I want to be competitive, I need to have the players in place to be competitive, and I just don't think Geno Smith is it. That's all I'm saying. Especially in that division where you compete with Bo Nix, Herbert, and Patrick Mahomes.
Geno will be competitive enough to satisfy the fan base for where that team is right now.
Yeah. Have you met a Raiders fan, Tristan? Like, do you understand how
I'm not talking about the illogical
fan
ones.
base is?
I'm not talking about the illogical Raiders fans. Okay. I'm talking the ones that see that they literally got gutted. Think about what happened in the last 5 years.
So basically,
listen. Let's think about what the Raiders were expecting in the last 5 years. Listen to what happened, right? You had the thought that Antonio Brown was coming, was going to change life. Look what happened with that. Then they try to get away from that. Still hoping that Derek Carr can go back into that almost MVP-like season that he had years ago. It just never transpired. But then he said, "Okay, let's go get Josh Jacobs. You bring Josh Jacobs in. Okay, let's get Renfro. Let's get some of these guys. Put these guys in." Then you had Henry Ruggs, got a speed demon. Boom. Look what happened with that. Then you come in. Okay, let's go get Derek Carr's boy, Devontae Adams. Let's bring him over. Okay, cool. Let's see how that's going to work out. They did a whole bunch of stuff until they were finally like, you know what? Let's just gut this and start over.
Yep.
That's what happened right now. That's where they are. We have to start over.
You know that, and I know that. They don't understand that. They still think that they gonna be able to go out and just do some stuff, and it's like
they do not think that. They're being honest, man. They don't.
I promise you. Have you met Raiders fans?
Oh, I know some Raiders fans. They like watching football, man. They have no high expectations.
Okay,
the ones I know.
Yeah, the ones I know don't have high expectations. They know they're in a rebuild, and they're trusting.
That's exactly what it is. A rebuild. All right, number 7, offensive tackle. Ahmad Menabu, I think I might have butchered his name. Sorry about that. Offensive tackle from Missouri.
That's the Jets, right?
Yeah, Jets.
Jets.
You got your bookend tackles with him and what's it? Fashanu last year.
Mhm.
They're gonna protect Justin Fields. Justin Fields is a temporary quarterback. That team is definitely rebuilt after everything that has gone wrong.
Yep.
They are. Aaron Glenn has told everybody that they are no longer the New York Aaron Rodgers football team. They are back to being the New York Jets. But they are rebuild mode, and it's gonna take a while. It's gonna take a while.
It's going to take a while because they're babies. You
Yeah,
look at
you're
that
right.
roster, they're
Yep.
kids. So yeah, Jets fans, be patient and hope that, which I believe he can. Hope that Aaron Glenn can raise them kids.
Yeah.
The oldest baby on our team is Quentin Williams, probably.
But
Exactly.
he's smart, man, because I mean, you want to get the best O tackles as early as you can in any draft. So
Yes, you can.
That's
I
right.
like
Because
that move.
the excuse won't be the offensive line. So even if Justin Fields doesn't work out,
Mhm.
you got your line established to bring in another potential rookie QB if he doesn't work out, or veteran.
Y'all know my theory on defensive coaches, head coaches. There's a move that's gonna happen soon where he brings in a veteran QB
Yes.
to pair with all of that he has going.
Yes.
So
Yes.
I see that. I see that.
Okay. Number 8, Tedero McMillan, wide receiver, Arizona Carolina Panthers.
Reach.
His quarterback bounced back last year, and Bryce Young. Got another receiver paired up with Xavier Legette. We'll see how much longer Adam Thielen will be in Carolina, but they got some young players to try to develop there. What do y'all think?
So if you're asking me, let me get this one because this is a receiver. So this is me.
Yeah.
If you're asking Tedero McMillan to be the number 2 guy behind Xavier Legette, I can kind of go with it. I kind of understand it a little bit. But when I put on the film, he gives some Mike Evans traits in the red zone, but his route tree is severely limited. He doesn't really show the physicality that he needs, except for when it's a jump ball situation, a 50-50 ball situation. And you want somebody that you draft that high to have all the traits of an X receiver. You're talking about a top 10 draft pick for a guy who's going to be your number 2 behind Xavier Legette. I would have waited, but he probably would have been gone because there's probably been another team that would have overdrafted him. But my view on him is not as high as a lot of other teams. I think he has a lot of upside as a red zone threat, and that is it. That's it.
Okay, so I'm gonna give you just a tiny bit of pushback. You my man, but when you mentioned the jump ball, that is physicality. Right?
No, I said the only physicality shows is with the jump ball. But like as far as run after the catch, breaking tackles, anything like that, no. For his frame, he plays really soft in that situation.
Again,
with that type of frame,
viewers, part of we have high expectations for every player. So we have.
I don't. I don't. I keep it real.
But Steve, here's the thing about it though. If you're getting drafted in the top 10, you should have a high expectation for these players.
That's my point. Thank you, Brandon.
Well, I'm agreeing. We're all saying the same thing. He is the number 1 receiver prospect in this draft, hands down. He just is. Now,
according to
no player is perfect. There are limitations, but he is he is the highest graded receiver in this draft because of his. His measurables and combine stuff. I get it. Now I understand as well his limitations, but I mean they had to get him because again, Carolina's a franchise.
They could have got a tight end.
True, but they're a franchise like Jacksonville that we know they ain't gonna do nothing this year. So they got to get the big name, the best player available at that point on offense to pair with.
Go ahead and finish your thought. I want to rebut to that.
Go ahead.
You through?
Yeah, I'm done. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so the big name. I hear you. Tedero McMillan is not worth an number 8 overall pick. You know what a fit right there to Tristan's point? Tyler Warren.
Yep.
Tyler Warren, big name. Number one. Number 2. What do we always say a quarterback's best friend is? A young quarterback's best friend is?
A tight end.
Tight end.
Come on. Hello.
Yes.
So what would have made sense at right there at number 8 and would have also helped your young quarterback possibly win more games is a Swiss Army knife like a Tyler Warren.
But yes, and I agree 100%. But
And you still would have got the big name. You still would have put the butts in the seats.
again, but these teams, man, they know they ain't doing nothing, man. They want to. Every team ain't about winning. We gotta agree. We have to understand that, man. Like every team is not about winning. Some teams are just about, damn, we're in the South. We got the Texans. You know, we're wherever. You know, the AFC West. Man, just get the best player possible. Sell jerseys. Put butts in seats. Some teams are just like that, man.
But here's the thing, Stephen. I want to push back just a little bit on that before we move on. We can move on to the next one after this. The Carolina Panthers are in the NFC South, which is basically, and no offense, Saints fans, one of the most winnable divisions in football. Even you don't have to be good to win that division. So you could go if you make the right
Carolina
picks,
can still fool around and win. Yeah, Carolina can still fool around and win.
Right. If you make
They
the
know,
right
they
picks,
know they're the worst team in there. They know they're the worst team down there, man.
But the
It's
worst
losing.
team, listen to me now. The worst team in the worst division, if you take away all the other divisions, you're not the worst team. No more.
I got you.
You on
But
par
they
with
are,
everybody
though.
else.
I got you.
Yeah,
So, I mean-
like Carolina can still fool around and win. I mean,
Yes,
the biggest threat, to
yes.
be honest, probably
So
is the
make the move
Falcons.
so you get to win your division, and then okay, you're gonna get your butt kicked in a wild card round, but still, you done made the playoffs now. You're a playoff team.
I can't
And
wait to do our division our picks, man.
I can't wait to do that either, man. It's gonna be fun.
And
That's
I know
all.
we're all gonna have them at the bottom of the division. I know we all are. I know we all are.
Well, no, honestly, I can't say that, and I'm gonna tell you why. Well,
Okay.
I know we're not there, but I'm just gonna say I wouldn't be shocked if it's the Saints, to be quite honest. Because if what we saw from
Whoa.
Bryce Young towards the end of the year is
Whoa,
what's to
That's
come,
true. That's true. He did
the
ball.
only team in that division that has a question mark at quarterback is the Saints.
The Saints or the
That's
Panthers.
But the scary thing also, we talked about is if for the past few years, new head coaches, offensive minded head coaches, we don't know what they have up their sleeve. And Kellen Moore, he's not a bum as far as offenses, and
True,
no one has
true.
tape on him, you know. But yeah, we'll get that's a different show. That's a different show.
All right, here
Yeah,
we
y'all
go.
got to tune in
Let's
for the
move on.
division stuff later in summer.
Speaking of the
Let's
Saints
move
and
on.
NFC South, they are up
Move on.
next. They get drafted offensive tackle Calvin Banks out of Texas.
Ooh.
Now they need an offensive tackle because Ryan Ramczyk, the right tackle, retired, and they also didn't give their left tackle.
He retired? Oh wow.
Yeah, Ryan Ramczyk, the right tackle, yeah, he retired. And the
Missed
left
that.
tackle, they did not pick up his fifth-year option, so they
He's a
really had to
beast.
get an offensive tackle. However, because of this Derek Carr shoulder injury, you also needed a quarterback, and so you passed up on Shedeur Sanders.
Who
500
fell
times.
into their laps.
So you gotta need, but you don't have a quarterback for the year. So,
Oh, they think they got one. Mickey Loomis does. He thinks he's got one.
well, who's the quarterback?
They're gonna go with Tyler Shough.
Who?
Exactly.
Who?
Exactly.
Mike Jones, who?
Hey, you know what?
Saints fans, you are
You
free
know
to
what?
comment. Go.
Hey, listen.
Go ahead.
I'm
Listen.
waiting for Titus' comment, man.
No, I'm not. Look. I'm not allowed to post that stuff up on here. Okay. Anyway,
Let them loose. Let them go.
nah.
Who that? Turn them loose because I know they got a lot to say.
No.
Just keep it clean, Saints fans, and we'll put
You
it up
all,
there.
hey, listen. All you gotta do is just look in the comment section. You can see. Okay. Anyway, for the Saints, for the Saints fans, man, I feel sorry for y'all. I really do, man, because, and I don't say this about too many teams, and I don't say this too many times, but I do feel sorry for y'all, honestly, because this was an off season, and I said this numerous times, even in the group chat. I said this is a year that y'all should just go ahead and rebuild, just start over, tear everything down. There's nothing wrong with starting over. Derek Carr should have been gone. A lot of other players should have been gone. If you could have traded some players, got some more draft picks, and did some stuff, that'd have been good. But I mean, you got your offensive tackle, and then you got this quarterback, which I'm gonna just turn into an hour, just keep saying who, but yeah, y'all gonna be looking for a quarterback next 2 years. Within the next 2 years.
The guy
So
who couldn't complete a slant during the combine. He
So,
dirt
li-
ball.
if you listen, if you can't complete a slant in air,
On air.
then you don't need to play quarterback. I'm just saying. If you can't complete a slant in air,
Look, man, Brandon E, man, you guys are a route tree police, man.
no, it's not. It ain't got nothing to do with route tree.
It really don't
It
have
ain't got
that
nothing to do with route tree.
It really doesn't.
Hold on, time out. Don't you start with that with me, Steve. You was the one that told me a long time ago that it was about the route runners over the jump ball receivers. You was the one that told me that it should have been Amari Cooper over Kevin White, and I was the one that kept saying Kevin White over Amari Cooper. Don't you do that.
I ain't got no popcorn.
Don't you do that.
So
No.
I was also the one that said that DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett are a better receiving pair than Denver's receivers.
Okay, whatever. Anyway,
And to this day, statistically, that was 4 years ago.
yeah, that's 4 years ago.
That was accurate. Better numbers, they've been healthier.
You're right, healthier. That's right, health.
And better numbers.
Okay, all right. Yeah, and I promise you, Denver receivers would have stayed healthy. They wouldn't have better numbers. Anyway, but going back, and it's again, this has nothing to do with route tree. We saying you throwing a slant route. Okay, Steve, you used to play wide receiver. You know what a slant route is. If a quarterback can't throw a simple slant route in air, nobody's defending the receiver.
Right.
There's no pressure on the quarterback.
Right.
What is wrong with you? This ain't got nothing to do with route tree.
I agree.
Okay, so where did route tree police come from?
I wasn't even going there. I was just saying the boy ain't good.
Right, and I'm trying to figure out where the route tree police come from.
I'm teaching about other receiving prospects, man.
We're not talking about them. We're talking about quarterback.
Tyler Shaw.
Yeah, whatever his name is.
That's gonna be the first syllable for what the Saints fans gonna say when they watch him throw passes.
Yeah, I mean we gonna see what.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. They won't be saying shut. They're gonna be saying
the full word.
Yeah, full letter word. There
it's gonna be SH, but it's gonna
words.
So so moving on.
Hey, hold on. Hey, look, man, dropping back to throw the pass. It's Tyler. It's gonna be Tyler O.
Oh yes.
Tyler O.
But before we move on, the silver lining in this, could be, and as Saints fans, I know y'all gonna go with me on this, is that this cat gonna be so bad it's gonna get Mickey Loomis fired, and Saints fans are gonna be rejoicing. That's
the thing that makes the Tyler Shirt draft so bad is because when you look at the rest of the Saints draft, it's actually pretty good.
It is
so it's like you wasted a pick basically when you probably could have gotten Shador. I really thought the Saints would have been a good one, and I'm not saying it because I was rooting for Shador Sanders. So Shador Sanders' game is complementary to Kellen Moore's philosophy.
Yeah.
So in my mind, I'm just like, okay, that works. And for them to not do it, it's just like, man, you had such a great draft, but your quarterback is you might have the worst QB in the division, and that's why I said the Saints might be last.
Because you're right, Tristan. Because if you look at the rest of the Saints draft, as far as filling in those other spots that they needed, it wasn't a bad draft at all.
It wasn't a bad draft at all.
It was the fact that Shador Sanders fell in their lap at least 3 times during this draft. And they went with Tyler Shue when they could have had Shador Sanders, who
will be 26.
Going to be running.
Who will be 26. And he's not a plug-in guy that he'll be ready to go, which means if you sit him for a year or two, he'll be 27, 28 by the time he starts.
$100 bill floating on air falls in my lap. I pick it up, I ball it up, I throw it. It comes rolling back in the wind at me. I pick it up and I throw it the other direction. A stray dog picks it up and walks back and carries it to me. That's literally what happened with Shedeur Sanders and the New Orleans Saints.
I think a little more happened, man. I can expound on it later, but I think there was collusion, but I think it's just not just about him.
Oh, no doubt. But we can go on.
Yeah. Let's keep going.
All right, number 10. The Bears drafted a tight end, but not the tight end who everybody thought they would have drafted. They got Colston Loveland from Michigan. Now, the stuff I'm hearing is that they think they see him as Sam Laporta, the Detroit Lions tight end. And of course, Ben Johnson's the head coach and was the offense coordinator in Detroit.
Goodness,
so
man.
that I'm telling y'all what I heard. Push back against don't shoot the messenger. Y'all go ahead.
I really don't. If Ben Johnson feels like this guy fits his scheme, that's fine. I don't have a problem with that. But I strongly believe that it was a Mr. Fantastic reach for this player because I feel like where the Bears were drafting in the next round, he would have been there in the second round. And they could have gotten more. They could have gotten a more dynamic player right there in the top 10. So it's not necessarily the player that they drafted, it's where they took it. And that's my only thing. I'm not going to argue with Ben Johnson and his scheme. He looked at film on this guy and said, hey, he fits my scheme perfectly. I can't argue that. But where you took him is the issue. And that's all I have to say.
I agree. Listen, the Bears not tight in the way, man. Let's cut it out. You had a few O-line, which again, I think we all know that was Chicago's issue last year, protecting the quarterback. Y'all have tight ends, man. You getting him for again. Some franchises are different than others, man. Y'all are not a tight end away from winning the division. That's all I gotta say.
I agree.
Yeah. Again, it's there's gallons and gallons and gallons of milk in the grocery store, but there's only about 3 dozen eggs on the shelf in the cooler. You grab your eggs first and go get your gallons of milk.
They let us get
hell, that might actually happen in real life, but I'm gonna leave that alone. But but the analogy that I'm drawing is the fact that this guy would have been there.
Exactly. Yes.
If you like him,
yes.
If you like him, that's fine. But the issue is where they're rating their players. It's not who they want, it's where they have them rated. And you try to tell me, Ben Johnson, that you had no other player available according to need.
Exactly.
At number 10 above this guy you took?
Dude,
you can't make me believe it.
Dude, tight ends, man, like
you can find a tight end.
You can find a tight end in any round and undrafted.
Here's the thing.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. He wasn't the best tight end in the draft. Now, again,
I'm
not going to argue that point about maybe, just maybe, that this particular tight end fits his scheme better than Tyler.
But that's not their missing piece, though, E.
And I hear you.
That's no one's missing piece.
And I hear you. But at 10, you don't go tight end. And if you go tight end, you're going to go for the best one.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying. We can move on.
Yeah.
All right. Number 11. This is where Eric comes in. Mikael Williams, defensive end. I've already said what I like about this pick for the 49ers. Georgia kid, SEC, 20 years old, 6'5", 260. You can line him up as a 4-eye, which is inside shade of the offensive tackle, all the way out to a wide 9. He's going to be able to hold his own, especially against the run. And as he gets stronger and as he gets older and stronger, I expect him to be a problem against the run. E, what you got?
Last year, and again, the people that's at home licking the window and picking boogers and eating them, they think that the 49ers went 6-10 because of Brock Purdy. And again, just keep eating your boogers. Don't comment on football no more. Okay. But the reason why the 49ers went 6-10 along with the injuries was basically because they were 26th against the run. It's an interesting stat a lot of people don't know. They were not able to adequately stop the run. Now, injuries did play a role in it, but the front four of the line was porous. That's why you saw so many people the Niners allowed to let walk in free agency. Malik Collins, Javon Hargrave, all those guys, they let them walk because they were not adequate run stoppers. The 49ers made a statement in that pick where we're gonna go edge, but we're gonna pick an edge that can stop the run. This is a 260-pound edge rusher, which means he can play the first two downs, but he has the flex and the athleticism to remain on the field in third down to rush the passer.
Mm-hmm.
So he was worth picking at 11. As a matter of fact, they didn't think he was going to be there at 11. They thought John Lynch and company thought that they were actually on the phone trying to move up, trying to get this guy. This is who they wanted. Now you have somebody who can set the edge on the outside. He has the athleticism to get outside, but he has the size to not get pushed off the ball. In the Ferrari package, for those of y'all who don't know defensive line sets, the Ferrari package is where you typically put your bigger edge rushers on the inside on a passing down, and you put your small, flighty, really fast edges on the outside. So you literally, your Ferrari package is literally 4 defensive ends.
Yep.
In that Ferrari package, Mikael Williams can slide inside.
Yes, you can.
So you have versatility, you have explosiveness, and then you have the physicality to stop the run. So this is one of the first times in a long time, and y'all know how critical I am on the 49ers first-round draft picks. This is the first time in a long time the 49ers made a pick in the first round that made perfect sense. And I have no complaints about that pick at all. Just as long as he can stay healthy and live up to his draft status.
This is the first offseason probably in 2 seasons that Eric hasn't shared some language that's disparaging. So
that is true.
So yeah,
I guess John Lynch heard me talking about him because I was on him, boy.
it was a good draft. It's a good draft, man. If he likes it,
and overall, and I've told Eric this too. You guys really address defense and trying to stop the run. It's going to be difficult, to start to run the ball against San Francisco. You guys are easily going to go up from 26 to 10, 12, 15.
The linchpin in all of this was bringing back Robert Saleh as defensive coordinator because Nick Sorensen had no business being a defensive coordinator. Steve Wilkes, God bless him, he wasn't terrible, but he wasn't great. So you have a guy that basically turned San Francisco into a defensive town again because there was a gap between Vic Fangio being the defensive coordinator in San Francisco and then the incoming of Robert Saleh. Between them, the defenses were not great. Robert Saleh came in, he revolutionized the defense, and people started saying, hey, San Francisco defense hard to get around. Man, San Francisco's defense hard to get around. And, during the Jimmy Garoppolo era, it was, the defense in the running game and Jimmy Garoppolo just in the backseat eating corn chips and listening to his headphones. That's what carried him. So they're trying to get back to what was working. And on paper, this looks superb. It looks superb with the way Robert Saleh calls defense and with the players that he has. I want to say like if I'm not mistaken, the first 3 rounds will not be defensive players, if I'm not mistaken. But this is the first, you're correct though in saying this is the first offseason where I haven't completely lost all of my marbles. I am upset about the loss of Drake Greenlaw because he was not a calculated loss. But everybody else that left via free agency, those were calculated losses. I was prepared to lose them at the end of the season in free agency. So let's move on. We ain't got to turn this into the 49ers report. I'm not Dave Lombardi.
Number 12, Tyler Booker, Alabama guard, Dallas Cowboys. Steve, you got anything before I say anything?
Man, I love that pick.
Agreed.
I think we knew because when you draft focused on what your division's doing, right? Because every team starts with winning the division first.
Gotta win your division first, yes.
Yeah, man. This kid, his passion for the game. If you watch his short interviews with Michael Parsons and Darius Slay, this kid got me hyped up, man. Like this dude, I love that pick. I love it. Go ahead, B.
So I agree with you. I love the pick as well, and yes, he is hyped. Couple things. One, like you said, in the division, you're in a division where you're dealing with Washington, who has Deron Payne, and they drafted, I think Newton. Correct me if I'm wrong, Tristan, in the first round last year. In the interior, you have Philadelphia, who has Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis. Okay,
Yep.
You have the Giants, who have Dexter Lawrence. Now, Dallas, you have 3 offensive linemen who are strong enough to move guys off the line of scrimmage. You have Tyler Smith at left guard, who you need to give a contract extension to. You drafted Cooper Beebe at center last year, who's only going to get stronger now because he has a full offseason to get stronger. And you just drafted Tyler Booker. And Booker is a guy who, like Steve said, is so passionate about playing football. What Brian Schottenheimer is doing, and a lot of smart Cowboy content creators are saying, that Brian Schottenheimer is trying to change the culture in Dallas. He is trying to bring in guys who are truly, truly about playing football. They don't want to be celebrities because Dallas has gotten burned by a lot of different players in the past by giving them contract extensions, and then they no longer care about football. No, Tyler Booker is truly a real football player who cares about playing football and wants to be great.
Yes, and with Zach Martin retiring,
it makes sense to replace him now.
You have to, because we have to fortify the O-line.
Yep.
Right? And fortify the O-line at the same time that we need to show people that Dak can still do his thing. So Dak's coming off an injury. We want him to play well, obviously, for many reasons. And then with Martin retiring, like, okay, we got to have someone help protect our investment in Dak Prescott. So it just makes sense, man. I love that strategy for us. I just do, man.
I do too. And like you said, protecting Dak, you be able to protect him up the middle. Pando, Trish, y'all got anything about this Dallas pick with Tyler Booker? Or
no, it makes perfect sense to me. You took care of a need. You didn't go for flash. You didn't go for glitz. Which is completely out of the character of Jerry Jones. They went practicality, and you had an all-pro guard that retired, and you needed to replace him with a high caliber, high quality guard. It just makes sense. I know a lot of people had mocked Ashton Jeanty to the Cowboys. That really didn't make sense because I thought that was a reach. And it's a good thing he went before then. They had some people that were mocking Teteroy McMillan to the Cowboys had he fallen. I think that would have been a reach. Even though you already have an all-pro wide receiver, Teteroy McMillan would be the number 2 guy. I still think that would have been a reach, especially in a draft like this with these type of receivers in this draft. You can get a great number 2 later in the draft. But it just makes
good point.
Y'all know that I don't like giving the Cowboys any props, but when they do, I got to call a spade a spade. When you make a good move, that's just a good move.
Yeah.
All right. Next pick, Miami Dolphins took Kenneth Grant, nose tackle out of Michigan. Now, this is one of my things where I sit here and I say I like it, but also don't like it at the same time. Okay. Here's the reason why I don't like it. I don't like it because it's a reach.
There's a lot of reaching.
But I understand because you need a nose tackle to stop the run. And the Dolphins with their defensive coordinator, I think it's Anthony Weaver. He comes over from Baltimore. So they run Baltimore system, which is which is also being ran in Seattle under head coach Mike McDonald. So I understand getting a nose tackle is just, to me, it's just a reach, man. And usually, unless a nose tackle is really a game changer, you really don't draft those guys, especially in the top 15. And I mean, he'll bring some pass rush upside, some, but not. It's just not enough to really warrant that, in my opinion. That's my problem.
Yeah, I like the positional pick. Because they need to stop the run, just like they run the ball well, but don't stop the run, which is nice.
Right.
But again, I agree with you, Brandon. I think it's just too much of a reach. I think Grant would have been there in the second round.
Definitely.
Possibly the third. Would it be in such a deep deep defensive tackle draft this year? I think Walter Nolan should have gone right here. He was right.
Nolan would have been better.
Or even Derek Harmon out of Oregon, even with the injuries, I still would have gone Derek Harmon before this guy.
Right.
So I think positionally, yeah, you need somebody that's going to be able to clog up that middle, but they got the wrong guy.
Yeah.
And now that's not to say that this guy won't come in here with his butt on fire and just go off. And if we wrong, we wrong. But in the grand scheme of things, when you're looking at the draft, and where these players are rated, it was a reach. It was Stretch Armstrong. Yeah. Tristan?
Anybody? All right,
I didn't have too much on that one.
Yeah. Okay, let's move on.
All right. Next up, Tyler Warren. Now, this right here was a steal tight end from Penn State, drafted by the Colts.
Now, here's the thing with that. we mocked Tyler Warren to the Colts.
Yeah, we did. But now my question to you is, who's throwing him the football? Because the way I'm looking at it is like Anthony Richardson may not pan out at all. And he's got to go somewhere else and probably be a backup for a while. But I think you also have Daniel Jones.
Oh, Jesus.
Now, I know Daniel Jones. I heard Daniel Jones supposed to be a better fit for this offense. But my problem is it's still Daniel Jones. So I'm just
Danny Dimes, baby.
Yeah.
My problem is like, okay, I hear you, but I still don't see the quarterback.
So here's the thing with that, and I'm not gonna hold on to this too long. I'll let you other guys jump on this, but this is Anthony Richardson's. This is his safety valve. This is his lifesaver. They throw it to him in the water. They gave him a high quality tight end.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and we just said early in this broadcast, and we've been saying for the longest that the quarterback's best friend is a tight end.
That is true.
They gave him a toy to play with. And if he can't get it done, this is going to be the death knell for his tenure in Indianapolis. So you can mark it. However, if you like, Tyler Warren he's special. He's not just a tight end. Tight end is his main position, but he can play H-back. He can play fullback. He can do so many other things. He can line up in line. He can spread wide. He can.
I heard all that good stuff.
His versatility makes him so incredible, which was shocking how Ben Johnson didn't want it. But moving forward, talking about that, if you're a quarterback, you want a good tight end. And he just got one of the best. And I'm like, if you can't make this work, I really think that's the statement that Indianapolis is making. Okay, now look, we didn't give you this. Now look, if you can't stomp your foot and light a match on this, hey, we may have to go another direction, sir. So I think that was a statement that's being made. Go ahead, fellas.
Yeah, I mean, again, man, it's hard for me to buy into first round a team being a tight end away from hitting that next level. I think he's a good player. Don't get me wrong. I think he's a great player. You know, tight ends. But I'm like, man, like with the Colts, that's not the piece right there. It's not a huge name, it's not the piece, but it's what they wanted to do. I wish them well, but tight end is not their problem, man. gotta get QB settled first. And
I think
I
okay.
love
Not to cut you off, Steve. And I think I hear you because you're saying you gotta get QB right first. I think that they basically giving. You ever heard the term giving them enough rope to hang themselves with? You ever heard that term?
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
So
I get it.
What I think is like they're not completely out on Richardson yet. They brought in Daniel Jones's insurance, but they're not completely out on him yet. It's like, wait, let's not throw him out just yet. Let's give him something else to work with, and let's see how this works. I don't think Indianapolis thinks they're gonna challenge for the division. That's Houston's division. Okay,
but
Houston has to lose the division. Okay, they have to lose it. They can't that's their division. So I think they realize, okay, if this works out with this tight end, then maybe we could just be in there just a bit to maybe grab a wild card. Maybe we can supplant Jacksonville. And we know that we're not going to win this division, but maybe we can move from close to the bottom to somewhere up near the second place. I think that's their mindset.
I hear the optimism. I'm taking a page from Brandon's book, man. I'm sensing some QB malpractice in Indy.
Oh, no doubt.
I'm gonna stop right there.
Because I didn't like the pick when we can go back to last year. I didn't like that pick. Okay. But we're here. Now we're here. So what are we gonna do about it? Are we gonna just start over, or are we gonna give it one more shot? And that's what I think they're doing. I think that's what I do. Okay.
All right.
You have to give it one more shot because you picked him in the top 3.
Exactly.
I told you I didn't like the pick either because he was too raw at Florida. I thought if you were going to draft him, you had to sit him. You had to sit him for a year or two, and they didn't do that.
Yep, big mistake. All right, next up, Jalen Walker, linebacker, a little bit of edge, coming out of Georgia, Atlanta Falcons.
I like it.
I like the pick. Matthew Judon's getting older.
I like it.
Raheem Morris, that's your defense. You can move him around, do some things. First, second down, keep him at linebacker. Third down, line him up as a wide nine, get after the quarterback. That's the way I see it.
Yeah, it makes sense. That's one of those makes sense picks right there. It's not really flashy or glamorous, but you taking care of a need. You realize, hey, you know what? We out of butter. Let's go to the store and go buy some butter. Is it Land O'Lakes? Is it Parquet? What are we doing? What is it? I can't believe it's not butter. No, we're gonna go grab we're gonna grab real butter from Wisconsin or somewhere like that, and we're gonna make that work. And I think that was the best pick for them at that particular time. And I don't have a problem with that. Atlanta has always had trouble with pass rush for several years. So
that is true.
I think they've historically had problems with pass rush within the last 10 years.
Go ahead.
Y'all know how I feel about Georgia football, man. Defense, they have until the past 2 years on defense. They have the biggest guys who don't get drafted on the D line. Besides the past 2 years, the edges they're decent, but they're spoiled by the biggest boys recruited on the D line. It makes you amazing. I remember 4 years ago, man, or 4 years ago, before the Jordan Davises and Jalen Carters, before that draft class, they had the biggest boys on the O line and D line, and none of them got drafted.
No, that's true.
None of them.
True. No, you're right. You're right. Because
none of them.
Listen, I'm gonna be honest with you. I think Jalen Carter, at the end of the day, was a straw that ended up stirring the drink.
You think he was the beginning of them breaking through that barrier?
I think Jalen Carter was the straw that stirred the drink, because when I look at some of these other Georgia players, these last couple of drafts that came out with Carter and Davis, they really haven't done much in the NFL.
So you're saying it started with him, pretty much?
Yeah, because Trayvon Walker, I mean, yeah, he's had some sacks here and there, hasn't really done much. Quay Walker, whatever. I'm drawing blanks on some other line. But anyway,
well, man, but Georgia recruits well.
Oh yeah, they definitely recruit well. Don't get me wrong.
SEC, to win for college competition, but their players, man, on defense and offense, mainly offense, they don't get drafted, man. They don't hit the measurables. They don't test well. They don't do great combines and workouts, man. So edge rusher, we'll see, man. I'm not like super impressed, man.
Well, that's why I said, first, second down, use them as a linebacker. Third down, line them up wide 9. And I mean, to me, that's the best thing you can do. Now, I'm not promising that he's going to succeed, but to me, that's what you got to do.
My question would be
Penn State quarterback, in my opinion.
So my question would be, Steve, if not him, who would your pick be right there?
Atlanta, they need a lot of help, man. So I don't know. I'm not saying he's a bad player. I mean, I'm not that familiar with him. But what I'm saying is
Mike Green.
Now, here's the thing about Mike Green.
Okay, so wait.
About Mike Green. Mike Green, from what I understand, has some legal problems off the field, and that's why he slipped out of the first round to round 2.
But I want to go back for a
But
second.
so did Dak Prescott. I mean, Mike,
Dak fell to round 4.
But listen, time out, listen.
Because of off-field stuff.
Wait, listen, Steve, you said initially you was like, yeah, I don't know. They got a lot of problems. Like, edge rusher, I wouldn't go in there. Is it the player or is it the position?
It's more so the position from that school is what I'm saying.
Okay.
So I don't trust Georgia's
listen, I don't blame you because hey, the same way you feel about that, a lot of times I feel the same way about Alabama. Like, it hasn't been really.
We have a quarterback, man. I mean, it hasn't been having decent players come to the league, man. Like before that.
Let me ask another hard question then. So how did you feel about Mikael Williams going to the Niners at 11? Because he's an edge rusher from Georgia.
I feel good because he's going to be under your DC.
So you're saying that Raheem Morris,
he'll be fine.
So you're saying Raheem Morris is not going to be able to do well with Jalen Walker?
Not like Saleh. I think he'll be fine.
That's fair.
I think he'll be fine, but I mean, Georgia, man, they recruit so well, man, and they recruit solely to be better than the SEC competition, man.
Which rightfully so. I mean, that's what I
think do well, man. They don't, man.
I understand 100% what Steve was saying, man. The guys, they do a great job recruiting, but once a lot of those guys get to NFL, man, it's like, Okay. And it was like that. It was like that for a lot of Alabama players too. Like, a lot of Alabama edge rushers really haven't done a whole lot either.
No, the Alabamas, they've hit a drought on. They have hit a drought on.
And then before we move on, I add one more thing, man, because these programs, man, a lot of these players, they're kind of also already professionals. You're talking about when people say, so-and-so's a buzz, Trent Richardson, but like these dudes play 4 years of college at a top-tier program before NIL. These dudes are already professional.
So the wear and tear of playing in the SEC for 4 years.
That, and also like the fame, the perks, like these dudes, they're burnt out, man. Florida State in the 2000s, these dudes are like, yo, I did 8 years of pro ball, only 4 years in the league. They get burnt out, man. Yeah, they get burnt out, man. So
okay,
that's just my theory.
Let's keep it moving.
That's fair. That's fair. Arizona Cardinals, Walter Nolan, defensive tackle.
That was a steal.
That was a steal.
He shouldn't have been there.
Should not have been that far.
He should not have been there. So that's another logical. Okay, this $100 bill just fell in my lap from out the sky. That's literally what that was. Mm-hmm. I don't give them any credit for being genius drafters or anything like that for a pick like that. If it's there, if it's right there in your face, hey, he's still here. Great, he still get on the phone call. That's what we want. Walter Nolan is a high quality defensive tackle. He should have really gone to. Let me see.
He could have gone anywhere for real.
Yeah, he could have gone 11 to San Francisco. That wouldn't have been a bad pick. He could have gone to Miami at 13.
Yeah.
There's a lot of places that he could have gone, and he just, he fell to the Cardinals, and it's like, duh. It was a duh pick, Yeah. Hey, your couch is on fire. Throw some water on it. Duh. I mean, yeah. So that it's not much to say about that. He fell in their lap. They did the right thing and they took it. Let's keep going.
Shamar Stewart, defensive end, Texas A&M, Cincinnati Bengals. Listen,
God in heaven. Go ahead, Brandon. I know because you're the front seven guy. Go ahead.
I've harped on this so many times, man. I'm almost out of words to say about this guy, unfortunately. Great athleticism showed at the combine, but how many defensive linemen have come through Texas A&M and have outperformed them? I mean, Walter Nolan was there first and outperformed them. Shamar Turner, the defensive tackle, has been there and outperformed him. The other defensive end, I can't think of the kid's name. Oh, Nick Scorton has outperformed him. Matter of fact, let me give you something else too, and this is gonna kill you, Eric. There's supposed to be another defensive lineman coming out of Texas A&M next year. Now, I don't know what happened because I didn't watch the bowl game, but this defensive lineman had an interception and a fumble recovery in that bowl game, and I'm assuming he outperformed Shamar Stewart. So that's 4 defensive linemen, current or former teammates of him, that have outperformed him. Okay. To me, that's a major red flag, number one. Number 2 red flag was the fact that he's only had 4.5 sacks total in 3 seasons. 3 seasons of football, you only have 4.5 sacks. Okay.
Oh my goodness.
Then number 3, my problem is okay. I'm like, okay, well, maybe he has a bunch of tackles for loss in these 3 seasons. No, he only has 11 tackles for loss total in 3 years. So my question is, what is your problem? Why are you why is everybody loving you so much?
Check me in.
Why is everybody loving you so much? It's got to be the athleticism in the combine because you've had 4 teammates outperform you in some form or fashion. That doesn't make any sense. Pando, you tagged in. Go ahead.
I've said a whole bunch of times, and if I've said it once, do not be mystified by the underwear Olympics. We get so caught up with combine numbers and combine workouts, but we don't look at the film. We don't look at the stat lines. Somebody comes in there and runs a really fast 40, jumps out the gym, lifts the whole gym, and it's like, oh yeah, he's a first rounder. No, he's not. No, he's not. Because if you can't make that type of athleticism translate to the field, that's a problem. Now, here's where there's a difference. So I can qualify for some people to sort of at home so you can understand what I'm saying. If you put on a film of a player and he's out there tearing it up, whatever position he plays, he's doing a great job, and then goes to the combine and then jumps out the gym and runs this really fast 40 and lifts the whole gym 40, 70, 11 times, that's confirmation of what you're seeing on the film.
You know my theory. Listen, if you have film, if you're getting the best of someone that's going to get drafted, I'm rocking with you. I don't see any film of a player dogging out people who will not get drafted this year or next. Y'all know how I feel about that.
Is who you play against. What did you do against top tier competition? What conference is Texas A&M in? What conference is Texas A&M in again? Remind me again.
SEC.
So you're going to see top tier competition pretty much out of an 11-game season, probably 8 weeks out of the season. You're going to see top tier competition.
No, it's not just, they got to get drafted, man. I hate to do this, Tristan. I know
what I'm saying is a lot of these guys that he's seeing are draftees. Okay, so if you're not able to produce top tier stats against top tier talent, then what you do in Indianapolis, in your draws, don't mean nothing to me.
You're right.
Okay.
Yeah, because guess what?
I was never high on Shamar Stewart because of that of the underwear Olympics and all of that. I wasn't impressed with that. I looked at the film. I looked at the stat lines. I'm like, no. And guess what, Cincinnati? You should have gone with a different edge. I understand why you made that pick, but not the player.
I agree. And the thing is, you're going to be going against way better offensive tackles, guys who are grown men. They've been in this league for a long time. I don't know if Cincinnati plays San Francisco, but you going to push Shamar Stewart against Trent Williams?
Big Trent going to bench press his tail.
Okay. You going to push Shamar Stewart against give me another offensive tackle. I can't think of any right now.
He goes down to where's Larry at now?
Matter of fact, in his division, he got to go against Ronnie Staley.
Greg Zabel. Seattle's first round pick.
Well, that's if he plays tackle. I don't know.
Well, he's got to be but like I said, he goes against Ronnie Staley in Baltimore. He's going to go up against him twice a year.
Walter Nolan.
Good luck to that.
In Arizona. Yeah.
Yeah, Walter Nolan. No, not Walter Nolan. We're talking about tackles. Offensive tackles. But I didn't really like that pick.
I didn't like it at all either.
Let's move on because we at 18. We need to get 32.
All right, Greg Zabel, guard, North Dakota State to Seattle.
Greg Zabel, I think that still was a reach, but go ahead.
Here's my thing with him, man. He had better been an offensive lineman that could walk on water, man, because that's gonna take a while for them to get. That's gonna take a while for them to make adjustment to the league. It's gonna be much faster, much more difficult. I just said what San Francisco did with their defensive line. Eric said it too, making changes. Yeah, he's not gonna have an easy time. Tampa Bay, wide receiver Emeka. Can't pronounce the last name, but wide receiver Ohio State. Here's the thing about him. He'll have time to develop and become a quality wide receiver. He has two receivers in front of him who he can learn how to be a professional from, study film and everything. He has Mike Evans in front of him, Chris Godwin.
And don't forget about McMillan.
And McMillan, yeah.
They got some depth, man. I mean, they invested in Baker a little bit a few years ago. So they just beefing up their receiver room, man. I get it. That's all right, in my opinion.
I still probably would have gone defense right there.
I would have too.
Yeah.
Honestly, I would have gone Jahad Campbell right there.
Yeah, because they need linebacker help.
Yeah, because Levante David keep getting older and older.
They do, but if you look at the team, they've been focusing on offense ever since Tom Brady got there, right? So like they're focused on, and they pay Baker a lot. Again, they want to look good, sell tickets, get big names in there to put up some points. So they think he's going to do that. So I'm not agreeing, but I understand why they would do that. Personally.
Okay. Number 20, Jahdae Barron, cornerback, Texas. I thought this was interesting. I thought this was interesting because I was like, man, you got another corner. I mean, you pair him up with PS2.
That dude is an animal.
So here's the thing. Again, this is a defensive back, so this is kind of my wheelhouse. Jahdae Barron is one of the more there's several levels been in this draft, but he's the best out of them. And what I mean by them is these versatile defensive backs.
I agree.
Jahdae Barron, put on the film. Jahdae Barron can play corner. He's listed as a corner, but Jahdae Barron can also play safety and has.
Dude.
And I mean, when I say safety, he can play down in the box. He can play deep middle. He has the range and the speed to play deep middle. He can also jump down in the slot and run man-to-man with your slot receiver. He is a defensive chess piece for Denver.
Listen,
and he's going to be going all over that secondary. You got to literally, opposing quarterbacks are going to have to say, okay, we know Pat Surtain's over here. Where the hell is Jahdae Barron before we snap this ball?
Listen, man, and this is why coaching staffs are important, man. Texas pumps out defensive backs and hybrid linebacker defensive backs. Brandon knows what I'm talking about, man. Texas, they coach those kids well. That defensive backfield is gonna be an issue, man. They're gonna be an issue out here.
Hey, listen, man. This is perfect for Vance Joseph, the defensive coordinator, because he loves to blitz.
Yes.
And so you be able to put PS2 on the best receiver, but you be able to put this young man. Well, either he can blitz him or he can, like you said, Eric, you can line him up against the slot receiver. It's gonna be a problem because a lot of quarterbacks are really gonna have to hold the football, and they're gonna get sacked. It wouldn't surprise me if Denver gets a ton of sacks this year. I think they got a lot of sacks last year, but I think they might get a whole lot more this year just off of this pick.
Yeah, it's I highly coveted Jahdae Barron in the pre-draft scouting period. I was like, oh my God, he is so. Now I can't say underrated because he's predicted to be a first rounder, but I was just like, okay. And I love DBs with versatility. There's one thing that they're probably not going to ask him to do, or they may do it just to switch it up and really confuse the defense. They may not ask him to go down the box because they have Talanoa Hufanga. But if I'm a defensive coordinator, I'm throwing some people off. I'm gonna bring Hufanga down in the box with Jahdae Barron acting like I'm gonna blitz, and then blitz Barron and then drop Hufanga out. Because on a blitz set, he doesn't have to cover for that long. So there's so many things that can be done because of his presence on the field in that defense.
Yeah, that was a great pick for them, man.
Yeah,
and
let's keep going.
I would pick, let's go. Yeah.
Derek Harmon, defense tackle, Oregon, Pittsburgh Steelers. First of all, let me say this. This young man worked hard for his mom. And before she went away, he was able to go and say that he got drafted. I feel like Derek Harmon is going to ball out in Pittsburgh this year. I mean, not this year, in his career. I really do. I feel like he's going to ball out. A lot of he has a lot of veterans to learn from on that defense, but he might be a new defensive player to build around. That's the way I see Derek Harmon.
Yeah, I think he's a great player.
I think so too.
And he's the heir apparent to Hayward.
Yep.
But again, here's one of them times that $100 bill and fell in your lap and you threw it away. You made a paper airplane out of it and you threw it away. Shedeur Sanders right there.
That is true. And you're right.
Who your quarterback, Mike Tomlin? Who your quarterback? So that's one of them situations where
it might as well be one of us.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's like, and that's nothing against Derek Harmon. I think he's a great
and man, I'm like, Aaron Rodgers, people, man, they
still waiting on Aaron Rodgers.
They let this dude mess with them, man.
They still waiting on this guy.
They are.
But hey, you bring in Aaron Rodgers, you going to the chip though.
Man, they let Aaron play with them, man. Like, dude, either you and Hayward said, man, I don't know if he wants to be here, come here or don't come here. Let us know, man. Like, Aaron Rodgers, man, is the ultimate troll, and
that's why
he's playing in people's face.
That's why Aaron Glenn got rid of him, because Aaron Glenn Aaron Glenn came from Bill Parcells, and Bill Parcells said this: if you thinking about retirement, you are retired. So Aaron Glenn got rid of him, and he was not dealing with that nonsense. That's why I said, man, you guys are no longer the New York Aaron Rodgers football team now. Now, if Pittsburgh want to be the Pittsburgh Aaron Rodgers football team, to go for it. But I would not be waiting for Aaron Rodgers.
But they do, man, and I think his time is past. They don't got to do that anymore. And I feel like if they realize that, I feel like Shedeur could have went to them, unless Deion said that was one of the teams that Shador would not play for.
All right.
You know, but let's carry on. Let's carry on.
Yeah, let's move on. But yeah,
All right,
Derek
this is where the
Carr-
Giants drafted Jackson. No, I'm sorry. Excuse me. I skipped over a whole lot of picks. My bad. Amarian Hampton, running back, Chargers. UNC.
Beast.
Yes.
Hey,
Beast.
Greg Roman, Jim Harbaugh makes sense. I want a stable of running backs. I want a stable of fresh horses to run down your throat.
Yep.
And that's going to take a lot of pressure off my quarterback, which is going to make him better. So, yeah.
Yeah. Beast pick. I think if Zach Martin didn't retire, we would have got him with our first pick, in my opinion. I know we loved him in the interview process and everything. So he's a beast. He's a beast.
Okay, here's a big question mark, and I'm mad Jody's not on right now to comment about this, but the Green Bay Packers took Matthew Golden. I don't think that receiver was a need in Green Bay.
I agree.
It's like that was another luxury pick.
Now, I've heard Romeo Dobbs has been on the trade block off and on.
Oh,
I'm just telling you what I've heard.
okay.
So maybe that's something that could still happen, let's say, after training camp or before the trade deadline.
As much as I love Matthew Golden, I do. I think he's great. In fact, I had a higher grade on him than I had on Teteroy McMillan. As much as I like Matthew Golden,
I don't hate the pick.
No. The player taking that player is not a problem. Again, it's not the player.
Right.
It's the position that they took. It's like you got Romeo Dobbs. I'm not gonna trade a player that has produced for me on the regular for somebody who, as much as I love Matthew Golden, is unproven. And then not to mention you got Reed there. Not to mention you got Watson there. You have a plethora of good receivers. You have a good wide receiver room.
That's true. Yeah, that's a good
A
point.
good young wide receiver room.
Yeah.
And just now you still talking about trading Jair Alexander. Why not go Siobhan Rebel right there? Why not go Maxwell Harrison right there? Why not go?
I'm glad Siobhan Rebel
Yeah.
was around 3, but that's a whole
That's a good
different
point, E.
conversation.
That's a good one, E.
That's a whole different conversation.
So you about to lose a top tier corner, but you didn't think to go get a corner in the first round of the draft. You're gonna go get another receiver, okay? So you're gonna be the Cincinnati Bengals. You gonna lose games 94-96.
Hey, Eric, baby, Eric, 5 wide receivers go deep.
Yeah, because that looks like that's what's gonna happen.
5 wide receivers go deep. We're gonna run the mesh route, Steve.
So
Air raid offense.
yeah, so I mean that's literally what they're setting themselves up for. So that's why I don't get this pick. Let's keep going. We're at 24.
Minnesota Vikings.
Yeah.
They took Donovan Jackson, Ohio State guard.
I think that's a little bit of a reach.
Yeah, I agree.
It's not a bad pick, but you want to protect your quarterback, your young quarterback, JJ McCarthy, who's already had some injury woes. So I get that, but again, that was a lot of reaching in the first round. That was a lot of reaching.
And that always happens. Never fails.
Moving on to another reach. 25, Jackson Dart. Yeah. Again, Shador came back around, fell in their lap again. They didn't take it.
So I'm gonna go back real quick to Minnesota, man. I think that's a decent pick, man. I mean, if you have a young guy at quarterback that you want to, develop and all that, like I feel like the best O lineman in the first round. I feel like you cannot miss with quarterback protection.
I get it, but
not guards. Not guards. You got Tyler Booker, who was the best of the best of the best of the guards, so that makes sense. But all the other guards, those are day 2 guys.
That's true.
You don't reach for a guard after the best one gone. The second best one was gone after that.
That's true.
And I'm on Seattle tail for reaching for him.
Now, okay. So now back to Jackson Dart, it's like the quarterback that high, him that high is like okay.
But like Trisha said,
or like you sign Russell. This pick again, it's the Giants. I don't care who's watching this Giants fan. Y'all been tripping for a minute now on so many levels.
Hey, Steve.
So I'm not surprised by a bad pick.
Hey, let me tell you
That's
something.
probably the worst pick of this draft, of this first round. I said it.
Ooh. Mm-hmm.
One of the worst picks, if
That's
not
gonna
the
be
worst.
interesting.
I said it. Yeah, I said it. Come on.
Hey,
I can't really disagree with Steve on that.
I can't either though. For real, I can't.
I can't really disagree with that.
I can't.
But again, I just want to point out, Shedeur Sanders was still there. So let's keep it moving.
Now, hold on, just real quick.
That's why.
Steve,
Go ahead.
one of the things you just said, and I love what you said, they have been tripping since they fired Tom Coughlin.
Yes.
They've been tripping since they fired Tom Coughlin.
Yes.
Listen, man. That front office, these Giants fans, I hope y'all tune in and comment because y'all been messing up royally, like legendary. Legendary mess ups.
Kadarius Toney, Daniel Jones, Eli Apple.
What y'all been doing, man? What y'all been doing in New York, man? I mean, look at it. Overpaid Daniel Jones. Didn't want to sign Saquon. We saw what he just did for the Eagles. He used the entire offense, and what did they win last year? The Super Bowl because of him. He was 60% of their offense.
Basically.
I mean,
basically.
Listen, New York, man. And
I think it's safe to say that the Giants they're kind of a mismanaged franchise. I'm looking for some
change. And the GM is still making calls, man. This dude is still gainfully employed, and I think we're
gonna witness some changes happen.
He's still
the GM and the head coach on the hot seat.
They're on the hot seat. So I'm really thinking there's going to be some changes that are going to get made this off season, especially with the division that they're in. And we're going to talk more about it later when we get off into our division.
I don't know if he is on the hot seat. That's the scary part.
Oh, after this year, trust me, that seat going to be on fire.
Steve, let me say this. If these two guys are not on the hot seat, then I'm gonna do a backflip. You understand me?
We've seen this. I don't know if he is on the hot seat. That's a scary part. If you're a Giant,
if he's not on the hot seat,
I love it. I want him to work for the next 20 years. I love it.
Hey,
let's go.
You always want your division rivals.
Hey, please don't fire him.
Yeah, you always want your division rivals to keep their in-app coaches and GMs because that's gonna make sure your team has more success. So I'm not knocking it. Let's keep going.
James Pierce Jr., another edge rusher drafted by the Falcons.
Yeah, my issue is that both these edge rushers, they got a really light guys. They can get tossed like salad. I'm serious. By big, they're gonna get bullied by big offensive lines. You know what? James Pierce is a situational pass rusher. You bring him in on third downs only.
Let me say that.
And that's not worthy of a first round draft.
Well, I don't know if he's that light, man. He's 6'5", 240 plus. So
240.
240 is light, Steve.
That's light for a defensive end.
That's light. Steve.
Or edge.
Steve.
Mike is 250.
Steve. Let me tell you something. All I gotta do against Atlanta is line up in 12 personnel, run duo all day long, and we are getting out of here. We win at 17-0.
Wear him out.
That's it.
Wear him out.
If
you put a 240-pound edge with his hand in the dirt on whatever side, I'm running at him all day.
That's what I'm saying. I'm running Michael Parsons' exact weight. That's not that.
No, actually, Parsons. Well. Parsons fluctuates because he was 255 last year.
245 that's not that light for a linebacker.
245 is light. He's gonna get pushed around.
That's Micah's weight.
He's not Micah.
He's not Micah.
He's not Micah.
I know that, but it ain't that light. It's not 210.
12 personnel. I'm running duo. I'm running power. I'm running counter. All variations of counter. I'm running trap. I'm running wham. I'm running crunch.
He has edge linebacker.
I'm running pin pull. I'm running buck sweep.
No, I hear you. He has edge linebacker measurables. He has
linebacker measurements, but not edge, not defensive end. No, that is too small.
If you want to put these guys in a 3-4, hey, Steve, if you want to put them in a 3-4 outside, then that's fine.
How is that too small? What are you talking about?
If you want to put him at 3-4 outside linebacker, both of these guys, then that's fine.
Bro, that's the way the game is now. He has the measurables of most edge rushers, not DN, not your Bosa's. He has those edge linebacker measurables.
He has the measurables of a situational pass rusher, not an every down end.
Exactly. So I'm not going to downplay.
And my point is, you said exactly. My point is that basically that's a reach in the first round for someone who's going to be on the field for 1 out of 3 downs. That's my point.
He'll be on the field more than that.
Okay, and guess what?
And he's going to get his ass ran the hell over.
Thank you.
That's our point. That's what me and Brandon trying to say.
Matter of fact, I tell you what, Steve. I do you one better. I run the offense that you don't like at all. I run the wing T offense against the Atlanta Falcons defense. Now say something.
Well, he runs a 4-5, so all you gotta do is just get back there.
Get back where? How?
How you gonna get back there?
How?
We're gonna see.
Wing T.
The point is, and we're not saying that he wouldn't be a great edge rusher in situational downs. He'd probably be great on 3rd down. What we're saying is he's not an every down. If you're gonna draft an edge,
I didn't say every down.
But
he's drafted in the first round.
That's my point, Steve. He's not an every down edge rusher, so his ass should not be getting drafted in the goddamn first round. That's the point.
Listen. Listen, we had this conversation.
No, that's right. Now, they just want to sell tickets. Let's move on.
Yeah, they just want to sell tickets. Atlanta is doing this.
Yeah. I see. Yeah, okay.
This is Atlanta we talking about.
You know what? Eric. This is what I learned from tonight's show. I'm not gonna argue this stuff no more. Because teams are out here, they just want to sell tickets. If that's what they want to do, that's then God.
I've been saying it for 3 years now. I was hoping y'all would catch on.
You know what?
Some teams can't. No, they're not going to win anything.
I can't do. I can't no
Pierce
more.
Is not Alden Smith.
I can't do no more. If that's the only thing you want to do is sell tickets, I can't deal with you. All right. Anyway, next up,
business, man, it's entertainment.
Yeah, you're right. It's entertainment. You're right about that.
Malachi Starks, love to pick.
Safety, Georgia. Yeah. Hey, listen.
Him and Kyle Hamilton together.
Man, you took the words out of my mouth.
Love it. Yeah, there's nothing more to say. Him. You can say him and Kyle Hamilton. Let's go. Let's move on.
Hey, just real quick.
Okay. I'm gonna get y'all later. I'm gonna get y'all later on this pick. I'm not gonna do it on the show.
It's not too many times. It's not too many times you see 2 good safeties on the field at the same time.
I'm gonna get y'all 197.
Go now.
197 pound safety. Because we're measurables, right? Okay. That's
a big difference, Steve, between talking about 197 pound safety and a 240 pound edge.
Okay. I'm gonna get y'all later. We keep moving.
Okay. I'm gonna wait. We're gonna be waiting for that. I mark my word. We're gonna be waiting for that.
I'm gonna get y'all in the group.
You're gonna get us. I'm not gonna even set my watch. Let's go. Because time gonna prove me right on that one. I know DBs.
All right, here we go.
Let's keep going.
Tyleik Williams, Detroit Lions Ohio State defensive tackle. Hey, listen, another nose tackle. I love the pick. Not a reach.
I like it. Yeah.
Aiden Hutchins gonna get healthy. They're gonna be able to stop the run again. Aiden Hutchins gonna be able to continue to get after the quarterback as long as he's healthy. They should be fine long term with that pick.
Yeah, I think because all of the really good edges were gone right there for what the scheme that they like to run, I think that makes sense to go with a D tackle. I think it's the same philosophy Cleveland went with. They're like, okay, we're gonna get a really good D tackle here.
Yep.
And we're gonna make him swallow up a lot of blocks so we can let our premier edge rusher do his thing. And I think that was a thought process right there.
That was a good pick.
Yeah.
Fortifying your D line. I mean, that's a good pick. Getting some depth. That was a good one.
Washington Commanders, Josh Connolly Jr., offensive tackle, Oregon.
Well, so you got Booker and offensive tackles to pair with Lerman Tonso to protect quarterback Jaden Daniels.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
Jaden Daniels was not the reason why they lost that NFC Championship.
No, you're right. Well, shoot, they lost that championship game because everybody else was scared.
Everybody else wasn't ready to play.
They put that ball on the ground too many times. They could have won that game, but
Yes.
Anyways, good, really good pick. Really
No,
good
it
pick.
really is. And again, that's that division pick because you got to go up against Brian Burns and Abdul Carter for the Giants. You got to go up against Michael Parsons, Dante Fowler for the Cowboys. You got to go up against those Eagles defensive ends. So, yeah, that was a great pick.
Yeah, it was smart. Very smart.
Maxwell Harrison, cornerback, Buffalo Bills. Smart pick. Your secondary has kind of been decimated by free agency. You need to bolster that secondary.
Yeah.
So that Maxwell Harrison is a very high rated corner, even though he comes out of Kentucky. And Kentucky DBs, people kind of look sideways at, but they're quietly good. They don't give you a whole lot of stats, but they do their job. So I think that was a good pick for Buffalo, considering where they picked. Now, this next pick right here at 31, this is the one I was trying to hurry up and get to. It doesn't make sense why the Eagles moved up one spot.
I still haven't gotten a reason either, Eric.
There's no logical reason for that because he would have been there at 32.
I'm still waiting for somebody to tell me why Philadelphia did what they did.
They really wanted him, man. He may
not. But there was nobody to go get him. He would have been there at 32.
They didn't know that, though.
How the hell they didn't know that, Steve?
Because they don't
Kansas City. Why did Kansas City lose Super Bowl, Steve?
They don't know who Kansas City wanted, man.
Why did Kansas City lose Super Bowl, Steve?
They really wanted him.
Why did Kansas City lose Super Bowl, Steve? Answer my question. Why'd they lose?
Listen, man.
You know football. Why did Kansas City lose the Super Bowl?
The Eagles really wanted him, man.
Why did Kansas City? You're not answering my question, Steve. You're running from the question. You got your running shoes on, Steve. Answer my question. Why did Kansas City lose the Super Bowl?
That's what they wanted, man.
No. I'm going to answer it for you because you're scared to answer. Kansas City got their ass bust because they couldn't block. Because the Eagles tore their ass out the frame, rushing the passer. So the logical thing is going to be Kansas City going to take our offensive lineman. So my point in that is the Eagles could have sat their silly ass right there at 32 and still got Jihad Campbell. Instead, they gave up a fifth rounder that they probably could have used later. They're like, we don't need that fifth rounder. Maybe so, because the Eagles do not draft well on day 3. Everything that the Eagles have done has been in the first 2 days to build a team that won the Super Bowl last year.
That's a good, that's a good day.
And that's my point.
He is
that's a method to my damn madness. I know what I'm talking about.
We're gonna get Mario on here next week, man.
I will quit this damn podcast. You bring that damn charlatan on here that don't know a damn thing about football.
I don't know what they're doing, man, but they wanted him bad, so it's not why they.
And listen. I know. Look. Okay. I've heard. Listen. I've heard reports that they wanted him bad. I heard the same thing because they was trying to trade up to where Washington is. And Adam Peters said, "Well, there's an in-division tax to make a trade with us." So yeah, they did want Jihad Campbell, but Kansas City was there at 31, and you traded with Kansas City. You swapped picks, and you threw in a 5th round pick just to get Jihad Campbell, who would have been sitting there at 32 because Kansas City ended up taking Josh Simmons, offensive tackle from Ohio State.
I'm agreeing.
So why do something like that? Because like I said, up to this point, as of May 5th, 2025, 11:14 p.m. Eastern Standard Daylight Time, I have yet to hear anybody say that they was trained up with Kansas City to 31 to try to get this linebacker.
I'm agreeing, man. Listen, I'm agreeing. And I'm not bad with you. I like messing with you, man. I'm just saying they really wanted him for some reason, and he's a good player. That's all I'm saying, man. He would have still been available. I'm just saying they did that because they did not want to not get him. That's all I'm saying, man. That's all I'm saying.
You know what? It's time to stop the show. Stop the show. Let's stop it. Stop it. Good night.
Justin Tucker's been released. Shit.
Justin Tucker has been released because, one, he has his legal issue going on. 2, it seemed like he might be on a decline because his field goal percentage as far as overall field goal kicking has gone down over the last few seasons, especially down to 73.3% this past season. And they have drafted a kicker who it seemed like they might like after I guess they put him through rookie minicamp already. So Justin Tucker's a free agent. Post June 1st, designated cap casualty. They saved $4.2 million, but yeah.
Baltimore makes me sick, man. They make me sick.
I'm gonna just put it like this: the NFL is extremely inconsistent with their punishments and their suspensions, their fines, and so forth. So you got Justin Tucker going on with this, these legal allegations and things that are going on. And my thing is this, and to your point, Brandon, you're right. That he is somewhat on a decline. That being said, there are teams that if Justin Tucker does not get a suspension handed down, will gladly, pardon the pun, boot their kicker out and take Justin Tucker on the decline. Because Justin Tucker on his decline is still better than some of the kickers.
Baltimore fans make me sick, man. I cannot believe that this was he had a bad season this past season, not his best. But just the sheer people calling for his head, want him cut. He made some kids. Y'all forget what he's done for you guys to make you somewhat relevant. Y'all know how important a kicker is to a team and what he's done for you all?
I'll put it to you like this. Justin Tucker never lost games for their team.
That's what I'm saying.
Let me say this as well.
Make me sick, man.
Let me say this well.
You can't say unappreciation, man.
The next position besides quarterback that you need to be clutch is your kicker.
Man, some of these fans, a lot of fans I know are just so ungrateful for all that he's done to push them to relevance, man, as far as staying in games, winning games, making the playoffs. Like, this dude has one bad season. He got jammed up with something, and y'all calling for his head? Okay. He's gone. Cool.
They don't know what they got till they lose it.
Exactly, man.
And the thing is, like I said,
man,
there are teams.
Sick, man.
I can speak personally as being a fan of a team who would gladly get rid of the kicker we have for Justin Tucker.
Dude,
we have a kicker who has literally lost us games.
No. Before we signed Brandon Aubrey, the season before that, we lost 3 games because we could not kick the ball through the uprights.
Oh, hey, listen. There have been times we've had bad kickers. Who's that one kicker whose leg was strong as hell, but was inaccurate as hell?
Man, I don't know.
You know what I'm talking about?
Vanderjagt.
No, not Vanderjagt. No, way after Vanderjagt. But anyway. Yeah. We had a kicker that can kick 95 yards, but he would hit somebody in the stance, and I don't mean just because it went through the upright. I mean he hit somebody in the stance or something.
They about to learn for the first time because Baltimore has always had good kickers. They're about to learn because they're a pretty new franchise, mind you. They're gonna learn for the first time what it's like when you don't have a good kicker. Not saying who they have now is not gonna be good, but hey, man, Tucker
was on a whole different level. Let's put it that way.
Now y'all get to enjoy what other teams have experienced. So, yeah.
Yeah, they're gonna learn.
They'll learn.
They're gonna learn.
They'll learn.
So in closing out, George Kittle has signed an extension. He is now the highest paid tight end in the NFL at $19.1 million APY.
Iowa, baby. Shout out to Iowa. Let's get it.
Hey, listen, man. The 49ers turned down a trade, a second-round pick for him.
Yeah, because that was the one time John Lynch was like, because normally when somebody calls about a trade, he's like, okay, I'm listening. You know, the trade may not go through, but he's like, okay, I'm listening. There was a team that called for John Lynch to trade George Kittle to them, and he's like, if you don't get off my damn phone, and rightfully so. At this particular point, George Kittle is the best tight end in football.
He's a beast.
He is the best because he does not just catch passes like a Travis Kelce. He is one of the best inline blockers. When he's not on the field, you definitely see the difference in the run game because he's not there to block. So you got your tight ends who are great blockers. You got your tight ends who are great pass catchers, and then you have George Kittle who does both great. So yeah, he deserves that money, and he shows really no signs of slowing down. So he's going to be 31, I believe, at the beginning of this season.
And he's good for the locker room too, man. He's
the culture.
Yeah,
yes.
exactly.
His culture. I mean, George Kittle just seems like, I'm kind of biased because I'm a Niners fan, but George Kittle just seems like the type of dude you just want to go hang out with. Yeah. Hey man, I'm gonna go to the bar and watch the game and drink some beers. You want to go? Hell yeah, let's kick it. Yeah, he's like that dude. Hey man, let's go get some wings. Yeah. He seems like that kind of guy. Like, I don't know any of his teammates that don't like him because of his energy. So yeah, he got that deal. He deserves that deal. I think it's great. But last but not least, before we sign off, because we are at 155 right here, there was a report that came out that basically the Raiders passed on Shedeur Sanders because they did not want, wait for it, they did not want another Kirk Cousins, Michael Penix situation.
Oh yeah, I heard about that nonsense.
This is why you suck, Raiders. This moment right here is why you suck, and you will continue to suck, basically.
And I don't care what Tristan say about Geno Smith. It's not going to work.
It doesn't matter. It's
not going to work.
Is why you suck. You brought in a quarterback who
matter of fact, Shedeur Sanders obviously would have been a better quarterback over Geno Smith at some point. I mean, but
that would have been a great location, man. I mean, because some of these guys, veterans, man, I mean, their time is almost up, man. Like,
you're talking about a guy who has not won in the playoffs. Yeah. And you're going to put all your eggs in that basket. I can understand going with him to just get things rolling until you build a roster up. But you want that young gun in place to get ready to come in and take over.
Thank you.
You got to try something new. Again, doing the same thing and expecting different results is
every franchise ain't winners, man. Like the
Raiders have been losers.
They know they're probably gonna be last in their division, to be honest.
Oh, no doubt. They know that they're gonna be last, but again, you have to somehow, some way, at some point, you have to realize, hey, we got to try to move up and compete. We can't just stay down here forever.
But the people are in denial, man. They're stubborn.
Pando. Remember,
you got to sell tickets. That's right.
Yeah, that's it.
But who would sold tickets? Who would sold more tickets?
Listen, man, the Raiders know they're not going to win their division. Man. Like, they know that. They know that. Man.
Okay. You know what, man? I don't know about some of these NFL teams, man. I just don't know, man.
They've been mismanaged.
I could not operate like that, man.
From Al to Mark, the Davises are not what's up.
Right.
Pando. I cannot operate like that, man.
No, because I'll get tired of losing.
I'm way too competitive for that nonsense, man.
Yeah. But oh boy, the Raiders. Yeah, whatever. You suck. Your organization sucks. You have a giant stadium in Las Vegas that looks like the Death Star that you will never win significantly in until you change your philosophy. Yeah.
And they're far from winning, man. They're far from being competitive. Not just winning.
Especially in that division.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. They're far from being competitive, man.
Mm-hmm. You know what? Teams that are head and shoulders.
Let me say this before we close this out. When they brought in Tom Brady to be in the front office and be part owner, I was thinking, hey, they were going to start changing. Okay. When they hired Pete Carroll to be the head coach, I thought they was going to continue to try to change. But this whole Geno Smith, Shedeur Sanders thing just proved me wrong. And I would take the L. I would gladly take the L on it because you just want to sit there and sell tickets and sell hope. But, have fun.
I'm going to tell you like this before we sign off. There's an old country proverb that says, hope in one hand and crap in the other.
The other hand and see which one fills up first. That's why I've heard that too. Yep.
That's you, Raiders. That's you.
Yeah. Hey, whatever. But I tell you what, though, I've been inside the stadium. Nice stadium. I will say that.
Gorgeous, beautiful stadium.
Yeah, we were just there. Yeah, that's right. I forgot about that.
Mm-hmm. How you said what, Steve? You said what, Steve?
I forgot you were just there.
Yeah, I was there back in February.
That's what's up, man. That's right.
Yeah, man, that was nice, man. It was a nice experience. So, anyway, before we close out, we have 8-week show coming up. No, well, whatever.
8
We'll
weeks
cover
worth of shows. Yeah.
8 weeks worth of shows. We'll cover each division in the NFL. If you're a fan of the Seahawks, you can join us for the NFC West. If you're a fan of the was a Seahawks fan, I know. If you're a Dolphins fan, you can join us for the AFC East. If you're an Eagles fan, oh God, I can't believe I just threw that out there. Let me choose somebody else. If you're a Bengals fan, you can join us for the AFC North, okay? If you're a Giants fan, you can join us for the NFC East, okay? If you're a Commanders fan, you can join us for the NFC East. If you're a Cowboys fan, you can join us for the NFC East, okay?
What we're saying is that we're doing guest spots. So if you'd like to be actually on the show, not just in the comment box, and talk about your team, contact us through any of our means of social media. You can. Brandon's gonna give you that in a minute, and then we'll vet you. And if we like you, you'll be a guest, and we'll have. The goal is to have 4 representatives from each division when we cover that division that particular week. So if you'd like to be one of those people that can talk about your team, you got to know your stuff. But you're welcome to submit, and if we like you, you'll be a guest on Just Fan Podcast.
Yep. So we're looking forward to hearing from everybody. Bama Cowboys 369, thanks for joining us. Don't know if you're new or not. If you are new,
hit that subscribe button.
Yeah. If you're new, please hit the subscribe button. We are getting ready to sign off. And usually we don't go this long at all, but you'll be able to catch us on the rewind. If you come, well, you know. But yeah, please subscribe to us and keep coming back, okay? Because we're looking forward to seeing you some more. By the way, we're live on YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook. You can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, IG, and TikTok. Coach Williams, the NFL Encyclopedia. NFL schedule's coming out in a couple of weeks, and we will talk about that in a couple of weeks. That direction, Steve Space Age White. What's up, man? Glad you was on tonight.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank y'all for tuning in. Good show. Good conversation.
As always. And remember, folks, people just want to sell tickets. Panel 316, the good guy with the black hat. Run and shoot offense, baby. Run and shoot. That's what they know for down in Houston, Texas, baby. Run and shoot offense and Swisher House remix. Rest in peace to DJ Screw, baby. Let's go. Good night.
Screw don't click.
Peace.